Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eli's Tech Talks. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about resumes. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about resumes. You can see my resume right here, and we'll link that down below in the link. So in case people just want to see what my resume looks like, see, I guess, some of the experience that I'm talking about, and then some of the things I'm going to explain later on in the video, you can see some in my resume. So I've had the ability to actually, do a lot of resume review in my time. I've reviewed a lot of resumes from like my friends, colleagues, people who reach out to me on LinkedIn. Like I've reviewed a lot of different resumes and I've seen some pretty bad ones in my time as well. So I feel as though it would be good for me to just make a video about how to review your resume, what it's supposed to look like as far as the layout, what to have inside, and some tips and tricks that can help your resume stand out. So with as far as the layout of your resume, after like speaking to a lot of recruiters, like going through that whole process from when I started like my freshman year in college all the way up, I was able to reach out to a lot of recruiters and they were able to give me like how they like their resume basically. So like that's what I'll be telling you, and that's how my resume is laid out. So for most recruiters, what they like is that you have your education first, then you have your experience, then you have your skills, and then you have, if you have any projects, volunteer, leaderships, anything like that, then you can put those further at the bottom. But the top three is definitely education, experience, and skills. So in the education one, I know a lot of recruiters, honestly, if you don't have like a 3.0 and above, I feel as though you shouldn't put your GPA, because even a 3.0 to 3.2 can be kind of, I don't want to use the word negative, but not as impressive. But if you don't have above a 3.0, you definitely shouldn't put your GPA on there because it won't really help you stand out. Like recruiters are very, very tough and they look for people with high GPAs, like if you have one. So GPAs is definitely important if you have a good one. If not, depending, I would probably say don't put it. So relevant coursework, I'm a computer science major, so I'll probably talk a little bit more from that angle. But if you have any relevant coursework that you've done in school that relates to whatever role you're trying to get into, so like now for me, data structures and algorithms, object-oriented programming, stuff like that would be smart things to put on your resume. If you have any certifications as well, it would be smart for you to put it inside your education section to help, just to show your skills. That would be where you can sell yourself just a little bit to show that you have some type of knowledge. So in the experience field, what a lot of people, I watched a lot of videos like since my freshman year trying to find out how to make a good resume and stuff like that, and like how to make a resume that will help me land interviews with certain companies. What people don't tell you is that when you apply for, let's just say any type of role, any type of company, what happens is that they review your resume and they look for keywords in your resume. They have a machine that literally scans your resume and looks for keywords or buzzwords, as they like to call it. And in those buzzwords, they kind of score how many you have. And based on your buzzwords, it will let the computer know that, okay, this person is a good candidate and he can then get an interview. After you get like a certain amount of buzzwords, your resume goes like to the correct file or the interview file, and then that goes up to the recruiter, and then the recruiter actually starts to reach out to you. But a lot of people don't realize that certain like that actually it matters, like what you have in your experience resume and resume overall. The wording is very, 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 very key. So in the experience, before we jump into the type of experience you should have, some things that they look for in the experience section is the experience that you have. Were you able to contribute to whatever, let's say it was an internship, were you able to contribute to that internship? Were you able to make an impact, a change? They like to see like quantitative increases. Like now I've done a lot of front end work and I like would increase the load up time from 5 seconds to 3.2 seconds. Like that's the type of contribution they want to see in your resume. And then they, of course, like I said, the buzzwords that matter, it depends on your role or your major, what you're doing. But like now for me, a computer science guy, a developer, words like develop, created, managed, deploy, like those type of words are the buzzwords that they want to hear. Like those type of words will help the machine, like those are the words that the machines look out for, and like they'll pick and like, oh yeah, okay, this is a buzzword, this is a buzzword, and like they'll count them up, and based on how many you have, that'll help take you to the next step with getting your internship or getting an interview. So definitely make sure you look into buzzwords for whatever role you're in, and then make sure that your experience is showing some type of contribution or some type of quantitative change or increase that you've added to that company. The next would be your skill section. So your skill section, depending, because I know certain roles, your skills can be different, but I guess generally for anyone in tech, your skills should definitely be like programming languages, platforms, databases, things like that. Even software that operating systems. Like if you know it, definitely make sure you put it on your resume. Even if you know a little bit about it, I would advise putting it on your resume and then just eventually studying on it later. But definitely make sure you put all the skills even if you used it a little bit or used it once, just make sure you put it on there to help your resume look good. But the thing is, don't try not to oversaturate your skill section with things that don't necessarily tie into what you're doing. Because a lot of people, especially in the tech world, will want to put like 70,000 languages and this and that. But if you're only going to use one, you might as well just put one or two inside there, because of course, put as many as that is beneficial to your role, but don't make it like if you put 10 programming languages down and someone else has 3 and like they have crazy experience in those 3, the recruiter will more likely reach out to that person, because if someone knows 10 languages, it's kind of hard to remember every single language or to be really good in every single language. So it's like now if you put too much, and it's like this guy might not know that much about each language because he's decided to learn all of them just a little bit instead of like going like really deep and hard into a couple. So make sure, of course, you put all your languages or all your skills, but make sure it's not oversaturated. Stuff that do also help you stand out and outside of those 3 sections, like I said, would be your projects. If it's any projects you've done in school, as far as like assignments that you've done or out of school projects, I would definitely advise to try and move out of school and look for projects you can do online, depending on any major, or you can create your own, honestly, and just do it and then put down the results and what you went through on your resume. Also, for the tech people, hackathons are definitely very key. Going to conferences, that's for everybody. If you go to any type of conferences, like I went to an Amazon conference and we did different types of projects there that I was able to put on my resume. And you can see it on my resume when I would link it down below. Like we built an Amazon Alexa skill from scratch and deployed it. So like I was able to get that experience and put it on my resume. So anything like that will help you stand out. And then some templates that I've used, or some sites that I've used to find like resume templates, because I know sometimes people have a problem finding a good template, or where to download one or where to use one. Credle.io is probably the best, I guess, resume builder, and that comes with nice templates that I personally have used. Of course, other people might know other ones, but the one I use a lot is Credle.io. It's a smooth platform. You just put in your skills, and after you put in your skills, you go to resume, and it has like a bunch of free templates for you to just choose from, and then you just choose whichever one you want, download it and save it as a PDF, and then you're good to go. Something though that did help me, a tip or trick that helped me through the process of building my resume was, online they have a lot of free resume reviewers, like a lot of websites or companies that will review your resume and they'll score it. Like they'll actually score your resume based on what it is or based on your role, and then they'll also tell you, okay, in this section it could use a little bit of this more, it could use a lot more of that, and like they'll literally grade every single section, give you great feedback that'll help you increase your resume yourself, in case you don't have anybody who can review it for you, or you just want like a second judgment on your resume. I would definitely advise using a resume checker. Those were definitely some of the tips and tricks that helped me. And if you would like, I will put my email down below and you can send your resume to me and I'll review it for you. And I'll link the Credle.io, and I'll link all the websites that I use to get my resume reviewed in the link below. And also, like I said, I have my resume down there so you can see it. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, and you can check my resume out as well on that platform. But as for now, that's all I have for you guys on this episode. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and share, and see you guys for another episode of Eli's Tech Talks.